Hello, everyone, and welcome inside to UCCU Ballpark here at Utah Valley University. I'm JT Wistersill, excited to be with you on the call as the 10th-seeded Bountiful Redhawks are set to take on the 9th-seeded Orem Tigers in the second game of our day of bracket play here at Utah Valley University. While we have a second, let's look at things for the Redhawks at the bats. Drew Bowles will be leading off, followed by the pitcher, Truman Duryea. Dallin Maxwell will bat third. Hank Tippett's in the cleanup spot. Carson Webster batting fifth. Drew Beck bat sixth. James Jordan in the seventh spot. Kason Everett will bat eighth. And TJ will bat in the ninth spot. Looking at things in the field for the Tigers, be Luke Kimmel on the mound, Sawyer Slade at catcher, Cohen Strickland at first, Cooper Bishop at second, Cameron Humphreys as the first strike is delivered. Cameron Humphreys at third, Maddox, Lemerex at shortstop. And just like that, Bowles is hit by a pitch and gets to go to first. It'll be Easton Davies in left field for Orem, Ollie Takashi in center field, and Alex Hansen in right field. The bunt unsuccessful. The winner of this game will go on to face Lehigh tomorrow at 7. The loser will face Maple Mountain in the loser's bracket. Our first game of elimination. Grounder squeezes past the glove of Strickland. Breaks into right field. That's going to bring Bowles to third. As Duryea reaches first. So a great start for Bountiful. Dallin Maxwell now due up, the junior shortstop. We'll look to bring in Bowles, the center fielder, who sits on third. This single squeezes past the glove of Humphreys. Takes a hop and reaches left field and scoring the first run of the day. Less than 2 minutes into action. What has been a fast-filled start here. That brings the Redhawks to their feet. So Dallin Maxwell wastes no time making contact. That single advances Duryea to second, with Maxwell remaining on first. Still no outs as it's been a productive start for Bountiful. Bountiful's led by head coach Clark Stringfellow. As another grounder breaks into right field and going to bring home another run. Sliding across home is Truman Duryea, the pitcher. So what a start for the Redhawks. And that's going to bring out Orem head coach Carl Hermanson as he talks things over with his infield. As there's been 3 hits in just a few minutes of play. 4 to be exact. Two have been grounders that squeaked into right field. The other's Maxwell. His grounder sailing into left. So Maxwell now on third. Trippets to first with Carson Webster, the first baseman, a senior for his team. Looking to bring in Maxwell, the junior, who sits on third. And Trippets, the junior DH, who just got the second run brought in for Bountiful. As another's fouled back. In our previous games, there were no runs scored in the top of the first as Maple Mountain was held in check by Lehigh. But Luke Kimmel able to retire Webster, getting the quick strikeout on the first baseman. And that's the first strikeout and out for Bountiful with Drew Breck, the senior right fielder, now stepping up to home. Just one out in the inning. That pitch sails well inside, nearly colliding with Beck. And that one did hit Beck. So hit him in the knee, and he takes first. Bases loaded. With James Jordan, the junior third baseman, now due up for the Redhawks. For Lehigh, it was 3 up, 3 down. When they were in the field a game ago for Bountiful, they've taken advantage of some struggles by Orem. Jumping out to the 2-0 lead, and with the bases loaded as they are, it's a great opportunity for James Jordan to drive in some more runs. Kimmel wastes no time in his delivery. As soon as Jordan is set, he's firing them in. Currently ahead in the count, 2-0. Already got 1 strikeout on the day. Can he make it 2? He will. Gets Jordan to bite on the pitch and sends him back to the dugout. That'll bring up Kaysen Everett. So Kaysen Everett, the second baseman, a junior, sends one into left field, and that's going to drop. Takes a bounce. He'll reach the wall. That's going to bring in 3 Redhawks. So the double from Kaysen Everett makes this a 5-0 game. What a start for Bountiful. Unless you're getting a grand slam, it doesn't get better than that for Everett. So TJ Delkey now up. So we now reach the back of the batting order for the Redhawks. So Kimmel has 2 strikeouts. Hit Beck with a pitch earlier. Has been hit 4 times in the early going. Some pitchers like to take their time, wait for a signal they like to deliver their pitch. That's not Luke Kimmel. He fires them in. The instant the batter he's facing is ready. This time it's been 3 straight balls delivered. So 4 straight balls. Allowing Delkey to walk to first. And Drew Bowles is back up just like that. We are only 8 minutes into our game. Got to imagine this is one of the quickest times between at-bats on the season for Bowles. He was also hit by a pitch, so it was Beck and Bowles who were both hit by pitches from Kimmel to start. Bountiful's come out and punched the Tigers in the mouth. They're just 1 out away from getting out. What has been a tough start to the ball game. That one's chopped foul. Bulls awaits the 0-1 pitch. Sends it sky high. Should be an easy pop out for Cooper Bishop, who makes the play from second. So he gets the Tigers out of the inning, but the damage already done. What a start for Bountiful. And especially Kason Averett, who drove in 3 of the team's runs. Maxwell also drove in a run. Hank Triplett as well. So the quick start, equaling 4 hits and 5 runs for the Bountiful Redhawks. As Orem Tigers are now going to be due up at the bats. And speaking of those bats, we'll give you the batting order of the Tigers. It'll be Luke Kimmel, followed by Cameron Humphreys. Sawyer Slade will bat third. Cohen Strickland batting cleanup. Alex Hansen in the 5th spot. Gary Sundberg batting 6th. Easton Davies batting 7th. Maddox Lamorex batting 8th. And Ollie Takashi batting 9th. For the Redhawks in the field, it'll be TJ Dolke at catcher. Carson Webster at first. Carson Averett at second. The man who already has 3 runs brought in on the day off his double. James Jordan at third. Dallin Maxwell at shortstop. Hank Triplett in left field. Drew Boyles in center field. And Drew Beck in right field. Mentioned Truman Diria on the mound. Already reached base today. He looked to be as successful in the bottom of the first. With his team jumping out to the early 5-0 advantage. A lot of baseball left to be played as the Tigers step up to the bats. So it will be Luke Kimmel, the pitcher, the junior. Got to imagine he's ready to take his aggression out on the ball. After Bountiful had success with him on the mound. First strike delivered by the Redhawks. Kimmel bites on the second pitch, falls to 0-2 in the count. Daria gets in a bite on 3 straight. So Luke Kimmel is retired just as quickly as he stepped up to home. Now Cameron Humphreys, the junior third baseman, will look to turn things around for the Tigers. Curveball sails to the outside. Second is fouled off to even the count at 1-1. 1 out in the bottom of the first, courtesy of the Kimmel strikeout. Humphreys. That's another pass to the outside. That ball delivered high. Our count is 3-1. Humphreys is going to be able to walk. So Daria struggling with control on the curveball. Walks Humphreys with Sawyer Slade now due up, the junior catcher. One runner on for the Tigers. See how Slade builds on the momentum. Strike one delivered. It's an Orem team that's 21-9 on the season. They were 11-7 in region play. First time this season they've taken on the Redhawks. The pickoff attempt is unsuccessful to first. For Bountiful, they're 21-9, 11-4 in region play. one's fouled back by Slade, who's now 1-2 in the count. It's a Redhawks team that's won 8 of their last 9 games. Orem comes in, winners of 4 of their last 5. So ball is delivered inside to even the count at 2. Humphreys remains settled on first, has Derrier's full attention. This one sent into left and caught by Hank Tippett. So second out for the Redhawks. Redhawks with Cohen Strickland now due up, the first baseman, a junior. There's a conversation going on between our home plate umpire and Coach Hermanson. No hits yet for Orem. Strickland looking to turn that around. Not going to come off this one. A short hopper to third with James Jordan making a play on it. He retires Strickland as the Tigers are unable to score. They trail the Redhawks 5-0 as we enter the second on KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Back here inside UCCU Ballpark, where the Bountiful Redhawks lead the Orem Tigers 5-0 after our first inning. For Bountiful, they batted around the order in that first inning, +1 with Bowles batting twice. They look to continue their productive start to the game. So Derrier returns. He had the first hit for Bountiful as he sent a grounder right by first baseman Cohen Strickland. So Truman Derrier is the one responsible for holding Orem without a hit. Fouls this one back. Derrier 1-1 in the count. Bites on the second pitch, and that's actually strike 3, so he is out. So Derrier retired. Dallin Maxwell now due up. Maxwell drove in the first run. This one a grounder fielded by Humphreys, who gets the throw over to first in time. Retiring Maxwell. Maxwell's previous hit was one that went right down third. That one Humphreys wasn't able to get. This time he does. Getting the second out. With Hank Tippett now due up. Tippett sent another grounder down to first base. That squeezed into right field. Tippett is batting .373. 31 hits and 83 at-bats. Made 105 plate appearances on the season. Tippett with 13 walks, 20 strikeouts as well. He chops this one directly to Strickland on first, who taps the bag to retire Tippett. So a much quicker response by Orem defensively as they settle in, and it's 3 up, 3 down just as quickly. We shift into the bottom of the second.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line. You shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
The Tigers got it done defensively. Now they'll look to get it done at the bats as they still trail by 5 runs. To Bountiful will be Alex Hansen, followed by Cooper Bishop. It'll actually be Gary Sundberg on deck and Easton Davies in the hole. So Hansen, the sophomore left fielder, set to face on Truman Derrier. This ground ball well played by Carson Webster as it sails down to first. Webster makes the grab to quickly retire Hansen. That will bring up the designated hitter, Gary Sundberg, the junior. So Grace Sundberg falls to 1-0 after the first ball passes. This one sent high into right field. And it's caught by Drew Beck. So Easton Davies now due up, the sophomore. Left fielder for the Tigers will look to be the first base hit of the day. Through 6 batters, only Cameron Humphreys was able to reach base off the walk from Truman Derrier. Bites on the first pitch. One and one the count. Derrier, much like Kimmel, does not waste a lot of time delivering pitches across home. This one low in the dirt. Even they count at 2-2. Here's Davies after he bites on the heater. So Truman Derrier looking to get out of the inning. And he looks like he barely fouled that one off. Looked like it was strike 3. I couldn't hear the crack of the bat up here. So Davies trying to stay alive. That high pitch will bring us to full count. The sophomore awaits the pitch. And he's hit. So Davies, the second walk given up by Derrier. For the second straight inning, a runner takes first. Maddox Lemarocks now due up. Or will be due up in a moment. They're taking a look down at first at Davies, who was shaken up after being hit. But he's going to remain in the game. Looks to be all right. Derrier shook off the first pitch, like the second one called by Dahlke. 0-1 the count after Limerauke spit on the first one. Pickoff attempt was low and unsuccessful by Derrier. Derrier on the season, 157 the ERA in 14 appearances. Pitched 58 innings, allowed 50 hits, 28 runs, 13 of those earned, and 77 strikeouts to just 22 walks in 254 batters faced. He's looking to add to the strikeout total. Instead, he'll get an easy little put out as that one's knocked directly to him. Makes the catch and flips it to Webster. So for the second straight inning, Bountiful makes Orem leave one runner stranded on as we are through 2 innings. Barely 30 minutes into our contest. We'll shift into the third at Utah Valley. Welcome back to our fast and furious game at Utah Valley University. We have already 2 innings in the books with Carson Webster, the first baseman, due back up to face Kimmel. Still no action in the bullpen for the Tigers. That'll be strike 2 against Webster, who also struck out in his last plate appearance. Sends this one high. Webster on the season, 3.69 the ERA. 114 plate appearances, 38 hits to 24 runs. 34 hits with 24 runs scored. 1-2 the count. Webster fouls another off. Webster has 9 strikeouts to 4 walks on the season. Second consecutive ball. Delivered 2-2 the count. That curveball sails to the outside with Kimmel, who might work as fast as any pitcher I've seen, wasting no time between pitches. He's set to fire another in. This one, a short chopper played by Bishop. And they retire Webster for the second straight at bat. Drew Beck returns. Last time we saw the senior, he was hit by a pitch. Looking at Beck's season, 2.27 the ERA. ...109 plate appearances, has 20 hits, scored 26 runs as well. ...29 strikeouts to 13 walks. And on-base percentage, .367 for the senior. As our count goes to 1-1. Beck nearly hit by that pitch. So now 3-1 the count. Kimmel's yet to walk a batter. Or has one walk to his name, actually. Occurred against Del Key. This one. Slapped foul. Beck asks for time. And he'll walk to first. As the ball is delivered. James Jordan returns, the third baseman, a junior, who struck out in his last plate appearance. For Jordan, he's batting .267 on the season. In 97 plate appearances. Showed bunt for a moment, but pulled back. It's 20 hits on the season. Along with 11 walks and 19 times he's struck out. 1-0 pitch set to be delivered after an unsuccessful pickoff attempt. Bunt once again goes high. You can see the infield of the Tigers beginning to creep in. Jordan steps out and resets, awaiting the 2-2 pitch. Another unsuccessful pickoff attempt. Jordan awaits the delivery from Kimmel. Two won the count. Kimmel already with 3 strikeouts as he delivers the curveball well to the outside. Being egged on by the Bountiful dugout as he sets to deliver a 3-1 pitch. And a strike delivered dead center will even the count, or bring it to full. Jordan will walk off the low delivery by Kimmel. So Beck also walked, now heads to second with Jordan remaining on first. Kason Averett returns to the batter's box. The last time we saw him, he drilled one in the left field. This one, a grounder that squeezes past a diving Humphreys on third. It's going to score another run for the Redhawks. So Kason Averett having a phenomenal start, bringing in his 4th run of the day as Jordan crosses home. Also advances Jordan to third, with Kason Averett now placed on second. TJ Delkey back up. Dockey sends it high, but it's caught by Bishop for the second out of the inning. Drew Bowles due back up. Bowles was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance and popped out to second. In his last on the season, Bowles. .281 the batting average. 25 hits to his name. Sits 1-1 in the count. He was hit by that pitch. So coming for a madman was James Jordan trying to make it to home, but instead the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. So Truman Derrier returns. So Bowles hit by the pitch. Derrier awaits it with bases loaded. One 0 the count. Derrier. Also hit by a pitch. So pitcher-to-pitcher contact. And that hit will be a costly one. So it's back-to-back batters hit by a pitch. That one walks in a run. Going to bring Coach Hermanson out for a talk on the mound. With the Tigers trying to figure things out early. Bases loaded. Dallin Maxwell due up. Still no one. Well, actually, guys, will just start to warm up underway in the bullpen for the Tigers. Kimmel needs just one more out to get out of the inning. He got back on track in the second, where he allowed no Redhawks to score, but this time he's allowed two. It's been hit a few times. 5 hits on the afternoon. For Bountiful, 7 runs as they lead 7-0. One-0 the count on the outside delivery. Make it 2-0 as another one passes wide right. Maxwell drove in the first run of the day for the Redhawks when he sent one into left field. Grounded out to third in his previous plate appearance. Kimmel delivers the first strike of the at-bat. This one sent high. Doesn't look like it's going to be playable, but making a good effort and leaping up to the fence was Strickland at first. Bring our count to 2-2. Chopper sent directly to Humphreys, who gets the out. There's a delayed call by our first plate umpire. But Maxwell retired off the chopper. So we move into the bottom of the third, but not before the Redhawks able to add to their run total. They lead 7-0 at UCCU Ballpark.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line, you shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
Truman Derrier remains on the mound for Bountiful. He's set to face Ali Takashi, the last batter of the order for the Tigers, before we'll turn things over with fellow pitcher Luke Kimmel on deck and Cameron Humphreys in the hole. It's a 7-0 lead for the Redhawks. Takashi awaits the delivery. He bunts. It's a successful one, or falls unsuccessful. Was fair for a moment, but then drifted into foul territory. So Takashi will come back in, and we'll do it again. 0-1 the count. The delivery leaves a frustrated Derrier as he thought he had the third strike. Not appreciative of the call. This one fouled back. So 1-2, our count remains. Derrier looking for what would be a second strikeout if he's able to capture it. And he gets him. Takashi's retired, with Luke Kimmel now due up. Luke Kimmel struck out in his first plate appearance. Look for a better second outing in the pitcher battle. Curveball sails in for a strike. One the count, facing Kimmel. You ready for it? Ed fouls it off. Kimmel trailing 1-2 in the count, as Ollie Takashi was. Bites on it. The second consecutive strikeout on the pitcher Kimmel by Derrier. So Cameron Humphreys due back up. Walked in his first plate appearance. Tigers have had a runner reach base in each of their previous at-bats. They're in danger of that not being the case here. As they sit with 2 outs. Count at 2-0 for Truman Derrier, facing off against Cameron Humphreys. Two won the count. That's another ball that sails high. So now 3-1. Derrier with just 2 walks in the afternoon. That'll make it 3. Derrier throws his arms up in frustration, so Humphreys walks for the second straight time with Sawyer Slade due back. Up to home. Slade, the catcher, flew out into left field the last time we saw him. Slade rips the first pitch into left field. So a base hit for Sawyer Slade. The first hit on the day for the Tigers. So they have 2 runners on now, with Cohen Strickland due up. Fisher Robertson goes to first as a pinch runner. This one fouled into the net. Gotta imagine Tigers coach Carl Hermanson is liking the response he's seen out of his team in the bottom of the third. Getting 2 runners on base for the first time today. Moans and groans from the crowd as the count goes to 1-1. 2 outs in the inning with Strickland. He grounded out to third in his previous at-bat. Awaiting the delivery from Derrier. It's popped up. Back on it is Beck, who makes the catch. So Drew Beck able to track it and lock it in. Extending it with the left. He leaves 2 Tigers stranded on base. As we move into the fourth, we're flying through things at UCCU Ballpark. The Redhawks and Tigers continue to do battle, with Bountiful leading 7-0 over Orem. Reminder, the winner of this game will face Lehigh in tomorrow's 7 o'clock game at Utah Valley, while the loser will face Maple Mountain, as this one is grounded. To Lamorex at shortstop, who retires. Hank Tippett's at first. So Carson Webster due up with Drew Beck on deck. Webster grounded out to second in his last at-bat before striking out before. But the loser of this game will play Maple Mountain in tomorrow's 1:30 game at UVU. A grounder is fielded by Lamorex again, and Strickland once again makes the grab. So back-to-back outs for the shortstop. So Drew Breck due up. This would be the first time today that it would be 3 up, 3 down for the Redhawks if it occurs. That ball fouled over everyone's heads in the park. This is our last game of the day for Bracket 1 play, with Bracket 2 play getting underway this afternoon, as Jordan will be taking on Wasatch at 4:30, with Olympus taking on Salem Hills at 7 tonight. That's how the rest of the day will look at Utah Valley. This would be the home of the 5A championship game as well. Which will take place this Friday and Saturday. And a strikeout for Kimmel. He retires Beck and gets Orem out of the inning just as quickly as it started. We move to the bottom of the fourth at UVU.
Ouch! Gonna need some pills for that one.
Hey! Prescription pain pills can be dangerous!
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Easy there. You're her parent, not a drill sergeant. More love, then they'll listen.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about prescriptions the right way.
For Orem, James Jordan due back up. Or actually, be Gray. Alex Hansen due up as I straighten things out here at Utah Valley. Hansen, last time we saw him, grounded out to first. An easy force out for Carson Webster. Hansen bites on the pitch. Following the 1-1 of the count. Curveball sails in for strike 2. 1-2 the count. And make it the 4th strikeout on the afternoon for Truman Derrier. Gray Sundberg returns to face Derrier. His last plate appearance, he flew out into right field. Strike one passes for the 0-1 count. That low ball bounces off. TJ Dalkey at catcher. Looked like it may have hit his knee. Right off the padding. So 1-1 the count after the strikeout. As another high pitch is delivered. Biting on another one was Sundberg. Tigers still looking for that offensive momentum. They have 1 hit to 5 compared to Bountiful. And 2nd consecutive strikeout for Derrier. His 5th of the game now. 2nd time this game he's had back-to-back strikeouts. So Easton Davies now due up, the sophomore left fielder. Davies 0-1 in the count. Walked the last time we saw him. So 2 outs, both coming courtesy of strikeout for Truman Derrier. He's looking to become the 2nd pitcher through just 2 games here at UVU to pitch a shutout. After Jackson Brousseau for Lehigh. Did that in our first game of the day. That one fouled off the low end of the bat, bringing the count to 2-2. One thing Brousseau did not do is get 3 consecutive strikeouts, as Truman Derrier has a chance to do here. Davies chops it foul. Still 5 minutes away from an hour into this game played. And it's flying by. It continues to fly by as Derrier gets 3 straight strikeouts. He's up to 6 now in the contest. What a performance. He continues to dominate defensively. As we move into the 5th inning, the Redhawks still holding the 7-run lead over the Tigers. After 3 straight strikeouts from Truman Derrier, made it a quick offensive performance for the Tigers. This one popped over everyone's heads. So James Jordan, Kason Averett, and TJ Dale Key all due up. 0-2 the count in favor of Kimmel. Who's been able to hold control of this one. There were pitchers warming up, and they'll go back to warm up for the Tigers. Jordan, a walk and a strikeout so far in today's game. Sits 2-2 in the count. Pitch sails to the outside, bringing us to full. Kimmel set to deliver. And he retires Jordan. That's his 2nd consecutive strikeout if you go back to the 4th, the bottom of the 4th, where he retired Drew Beck. And it's now our 5th consecutive strikeout if you combine our 2 pitchers from Derrier to Kimmel. But Kaysen Averett has had the most success against Kimmel. See if he can keep it up here. One-0 the count. No batter for the Redhawks or the Tigers yet to reach base all 3 times. Taking a hack and getting nothing was Averett. He asks a question to our home plate umpire and steps back in. Ball low. Averett awaits it, swings. He'll get nothing as we're back at full count. Second straight batter we faced it. Kimmel was able to get a strikeout in the previous at-bat when he reached full count. That one quickly fouled off. And the outside pitch allows Averett to reach base for the 3rd straight plate appearance. TJ Dalkey due back up. So we are going to see a meeting take place on the mound for the Tigers with Coach Hermanson talking things over with Kimmel. Looked like for a second it was going to be the end of Kimmel's day, but instead they're going to stick with him for a little longer. Kimmel was rocked in the first inning, gave up the 5 runs. But since then, only surrendered 2. With 2 innings, he's given up nothing. Penciled in between. See our home plate umpire make his way to the mound to see what's taking our meeting so long. As Coach Hermanson looks to be ready to head back, and Kim will remain. No one warming up in the bullpen. As Kimmel, who at first handed the ball, went to hand the ball to Coach Hermanson, will remain in the game. 1 out. As he's set to face TJ Dalkey. Bunt. Goes short. Opportunity for a double play. Kimmel able to get it to Lamorex on second as they get the force out. So Dalkey to first. Averett forced to head back to the bullpen of Bountiful. Drew Bowles do it for the 4th time today. Hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. Popped out to second in his second. And was also hit by a pitch in his 3rd plate appearance. So 2-0 the count. With 2 outs. That was a balk. So Kimmel hit with it. Allows Dalkey to advance to second. Three-0 the count. That one to strike. Catches the inside of the zone. Bowles. Chops it foul. Full count facing Bowles after Kimmel fought his way back. And he gets the strikeout. Bowles had started to make his way to first. He disagrees with the call, but it will stand. So all three batters retired via the strikeout for Kimmel. As he restabilized, it's the second straight inning. He's held the Redhawks scoreless. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth as the Tigers look to climb back into this one. Tigers with a runner on base. Ollie Takashi due up for the second time today. Struck out in his previous plate appearance. Let's strike one pass. That'll be our first error of the day. Charged to Webster for not being able to come up with the grab. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful as Webster falls over Limericks. Takashi. Swings and gets nothing. 0-2 the count. Him and Kimmel, who's on deck, if he would strike out here, would be the only two Tigers to strike out in both their plate appearances. Here's some groans from the Bountiful faithful as they thought that was strike three. 1-2 the count. This one sent into the net. As Takashi protects home plate. One, two. Go to 2-2. Off the outside delivery from Derrier. He's only surrendered one hit on the afternoon. The other one not going against him. The one he had just given up because it was an error. So he was 0-2, and just like that, Takashi's fought back to get to full count. So he awaits the pitch from Derrier. And he sends it directly to Drew Beck in right field. So Takashi retired for the second time today. That'll bring up Luke Kimmel, the fellow pitcher, who has struck out in both of his previous. So Kimmel struck out in his previous at-bats. No one warming up for the Redhawks. So this game firmly in Derrier's hands. With head coach of the Redhawks, Clark Stringfellow, making his way to the mound. So 7-0, our score at the bottom of the fifth for the Tigers. Just a little over an hour into our game. Here at UCCU Ballpark. A reminder, our next game, Jordan versus Wasatch, the 3:14 matchup, scheduled for 4:30. With our nightcap, Olympus and Salem Hills at 7. Derrier examines the ball he has in hand. Now the lefty. Delivered what was a strike, but there seemed to be confusion from TJ Dolke, who. So a second straight strike delivered, or excuse me, they write the count, so 1-1. One out in the inning off the Takashi. Fly. This one takes a hop. Opportunity for a double play. Can Bountiful capitalize? They cannot, but they get the furthest advancing runner out in Lamorux. As Kaysen Averett made a play on it. So Cameron Humphreys, the junior, returns. And it looks like Truman Derrier was hit with the balk. And is easily advancing to second. Was Kimmel. Kimmel on base for the first time today. Looks like our umpires adjusting their alignment. As we have one settled on the first base line, the other playing in the green grass of the infield. As a grounder breaks through. That's going to bring in the first run of the day for the Tigers. Sliding and scoring is the pitcher, Luke Kimmel, who crosses home off the big-time base hit from Humphreys. Just the second of the day for the Tigers, but a big one. Sawyer Slade now due up. Slade flew out into left field in his first at-bat. Then had the other base hit of the day on the line drive that he sent to left field. 2 outs in the inning for Bountiful. As that one hits the foot of Slade. First batter hit by a pitch for Derrier. Going to have a pinch runner come in for Slade after he took that one off the foot. Fisher Robertson, once again, the pinch runner. So Cohen Strickland returns to the batter's box, nearly swung at the pitch, pulled back, or he did not. Our first base umpire says he did go. So 0-1 the count with 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. 1 run already brought in off the Humphreys grounder. This one sent into left field, back on it, but unable to reach it in time was Bowles. And that's going to bring in not 1, but 2 Tigers. Orem coming to life in the bottom of the fifth. They've scored 3 runs as Cameron Humphreys and Fisher both cross home plate. The huge shot by Strickland. That one took a bounce and then reached the wall. The extra fence on top, keeping that one from being a ground rule double. So there were 2 outs for Bountiful, but they've let it slip since. So that ball sent into foul territory by Alex Hansen, who grounded out in his first plate appearance and struck out in the second. He was the first of the 3 straight strikeout streak for Derrier, who has struggled a little bit in the bottom of the fifth. Looks to get back on track after having a phenomenal first 4 innings. A huge double by Strickland, of course, landing him on second, where he remains. Calling time and stepping out was Hansen. Going for the steal. And it's a high throw by Dolke as he rushed it to get it to James Jordan in time. Was Strickland able to take third? 1-2 the count. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with Truman Derrier looking to retire Alex Hansen and get the Redhawks out of the inning. He'll do just that. He adds another strikeout to his total, but also gives up 2 hits to the Tigers as they're slowly but surely clawing their way back into this one. They trail 7-3 at Utah Valley. Both pitchers over 80 in the count. So we go into the top of the 7th, or excuse me, top of the 6th. Truman Derrier due up. This is one sent to Lamorox, who gets him out. So with Derrier retired at first off the grounder, brings up Dallin Maxwell in our 7-3 game. This one clashes with the press box at UCCU ballpark for the first foul ball and strike. Two straight balls delivered by Kimmel, who moves to 2-1 in the count. Maxwell sends a short roller to Lamorox, who retires him at first. The second straight grounder received by Lamorox. That's the second straight time in this game where 2 straight ground balls have gone to Lamorox, and he's been able to retire the base runners at first, connecting with Cohen Strickland. So 2 outs now. As Bountiful still leads 7-3. Tigers will have 2 more chances at the bats to get back into it. That strike delivered dead center by Kimmel. With Hank Tippett, who sends it foul. Tippett is grounded out in his last 2 at-bats. His first one reached first. Did he swing at that one? He did not. Can hear the protest from the Tigers faithful, as everyone wearing white and blue thought that was it for the top of the 6th. Instead, Kimmel, he'll deliver again. That went well to the outside for the 2-2 count. Kimmel delivers another low. So now full count. Facing Hank Tippett, who thought about swinging at it, and instead, he's retired. He opted to watch it pass, and that was a mistake, as Kimmel has really solidified himself. It's the 3rd straight inning. He's yielded no runs to the Redhawks. So the Tigers are back at the bats. When we come back, you're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind.
Ouch. Gonna need some pills for that one.
Hey, prescription pain pills can be dangerous.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy there. You're her parent, not a drill sergeant. More love, then they'll listen.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about prescriptions the right way.
Orem looking to continue their strong comeback. They had 3 runs in their last at-bat. Let's see if they can recapture the magic It'll be Gary Sundberg do it first, followed by Easton Davies and Maddox Lamorix in the hole. So Gray Sundberg, yet to reach base today, 0 for 2. Last appearance was a strikeout. We are going to start to see some bodies get warm for Bountiful. Truman Derrier's had a really strong outing. Started to slip a little bit in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see if he can settle back in here. To the count in his favor. Truman Derrier looking for a second consecutive strikeout. Won't come on the high delivery. Sundberg fouls it off. Sundberg awaiting the delivery. Derrier takes his time, delivers. Curveball to the outside. Derrier thought he was very close to a strikeout. As he hops up and down on the mound. Now set to deliver the 2-2 pitch. And it's high. Bringing us to full count. Tigers trail the Redhawks by 4. Down to their last 6 outs. But Derrier walks Sundberg. That's the first walk he's had in over 12 batters faced. Easton Davies now due up a strikeout and a walk on his day. As Derrier looks to right the ship. He led in the count, 1-2. Home plate umpire called time for a moment. We're set to resume action at UCCU Ballpark. The foul ball sent high into right field. Davies swings, getting nothing. He now falls behind 0-2. Truman Derrier looking to finish what he started. Brousseau went all the way in our previous game for Lehigh. Both Luke Kimmel and Truman Derrier trying to do the same. As bracket play gets underway at UVU. That outside pitch is a strike, but draws groans from the Orem faithful. And Davies obviously disagreed as he's retired for the second straight at-bat via the strikeout. Maddox Lamorix returns to the batter's box. He got the scoring started with a base hit in his last at-bat. The shortstop will try to keep his bats hot and advance Sundberg, who sits comfortably on first. Ball's delivered high. Derrier exhales. Sets. Checks first, delivers. So 2-1 the count. Derrier trying to make it 2 consecutive strikeouts. Is he set? That one aggressively chopped by Lamorox. The Tigers trying to overcome that slow start in which they went scoreless through the first 4 innings. Another's chopped low in the foul territory by Maddox Lamorox. Just trying to stay alive. And Derrier gets him to bite. The big time K. From the left-hander. Ollie Takashi returns. Takashi flew out into right field the last time we saw him. Before that, a strikeout. Takashi bites on the first one. Falling to 0-1 in the count. Luke Kimmel on deck. Kimmel, the first run of the game to score for Orem. So he'll try to reach base. This one sent into right field. It'll take a bounce. So the line drive single for Takashi and his first base hit of the day. That'll bring up Kimmel. Got to imagine Luke Kimmel as a pitcher with a chance to retire his fellow pitcher if he's able to get contact. Orem's going to call in a pinch runner in Carter Hall, the freshman at second, with Takashi. So Takashi at first, Hall on second. Kimmel thought about swinging at the first one, wisely pulled back. One 0 the count. With 2 runners on for the Tigers, and both those runners going to advance. So Hall to third. Takashi to second. With Kimmel ahead in the count, 2-0. Kimmel awaits the Derrier pitch. Head in the count. Three straight balls delivered by Derrier, who's in danger of loading the bases. His team gripping to a 4-run lead over Orem. Derrier sets, delivers. That one dead center for the strike. Not surprising to see Kimmel let it pass after the balls that were consecutively delivered. Derrier trying to fight back in the count. Here's Kimmel. He's going to be able to walk. And he heads to first on a ball that passes by Derrier and brings in a run. Kimmel excited as he kicked his bat out of the way and threw his wrist wear back. That was Carter Hall who crossed home. And what's now a 3-run game. Tigers mounting an impressive comeback after Kimmel's tough at-bat. In the chaos, Takashi makes it to third. And Bountiful is going to make a change. And we'll give you the numbers on who they decided to call to take over on the mound. When we return, you're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line. You shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
The bases are loaded for the Tigers. So that's going to end the day for Truman Derrier and bring on Tavis Danner, the right-hander, a sophomore. Looking to get that last out that eluded Derrier. Orem with 3 runners on base and 3 runs away from tying this one up with the leading run stepping up to home plate in a moment. It's going to be Cameron Humphreys. Redhawks trying to hold on for the win so they can advance in the winner's bracket and take on the 2-seeded Pioneers. So we're set to resume play with Humphreys stepping up. The 9th-seeded Orem Tigers currently trailing the 10th-seeded Bountiful Redhawks at UCCU Ballpark at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Humphreys awaiting the pitch. First one's a ball. Humphreys brought in the first run of the third with a single up the gut. But the strike delivered by Danner. Allows him to even it up. Going for second and making it. That ball well caught by Averett, but he was unable to get on the bag in what they looked to almost be an attempt at to get Takashi to go for it and try to get him in a pickle. So 2 runners in scoring position now. So Kimmel on second, Takashi on first. Truman Derrier also now in right field as that ball squeezes past the third one of the at-bat. And Takashi crosses home. It's a 2-run ball game. Now it's Bountiful is in danger of losing their grip on this one. This game was flying by, but things have really slowed down the last 30 minutes. Sawyer Slade due up after the Humphreys walk. Danner delivers another ball. You can hear the Orem faithful starting to come to life. Student section getting going as well. 1-0 the count. Dalen Maxwell's going to come over from shortstop and talk things over with Tavis Danner. Tying run on second for Orem. Still 2 outs. As we sit in the bottom of the 6th. This one sent into left, but it's foul. The Tigers really started to come to life as they thought that one was going to be fair, and a homer that would have given them an 8-7 lead. Slade. Awaits it. And he's hit by it. So base is loaded. As Danner has come in and struggled. So Cohen Strickland, who brought in 2 huge runs in his previous at-bat, sending it into center field. For a moment, it looked like it was going to be gone. That last ball he hit took a bounce and reached the fence. Strickland ready for the pitch. He pops it up. It's heading for the fans in the stands. Oh, on the count after the foul off by Strickland. Danner trying to get the last out and leave 3 Tigers stranded on. Won't come on the outside pitch. 1-1 our count. Strickland fouls another back. Can feel the anticipation at the ballpark. Danner just 1 strike away from getting his team out of it. Strickland awaiting the perfect pitch. He'll pop it high. It looks to be an easy out. Calling for it. And making the grab on it is Drew Bowles. So the Redhawks give up 2 runs, but they leave 3 Tigers stranded on, and they're still able to hold the lead, albeit it has shrunken. 7-5 our score. Redhawks lead the Tigers as we enter the 7th.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line. You shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
We are just about set for the 7th inning to get underway here at UCCU Ballpark. And in preparation for it, the Tigers decided to make a change on the mound as Cooper Bishop has taken over for Luke Kimmel. as they've just traded spots. So Kimmel now at second with Bishop on the mound. Bishop, a right-hander. Look to hold the Redhawks scoreless, and then hope the bats can get hot for the Tigers, as Eye of the Tiger fittingly plays throughout the ballpark. Due up for the Redhawks will be Carson Webster, Drew Beck, and James Jordan. Two of those three struck out in their last at-bat, but all three were retired. And not the start that Bishop was hoping for, as he nails Webster with that ball. That one may have hit off his helmet. Couldn't tell if it was the helmet or shoulder. Sounded like the helmet, but even though he's shaken up, he is all right to take the base. We've seen both relief pitchers for the Redhawks and for the Tigers come in and now allow the first batter they faced, one via hit by pitch, which we just saw, the other via the walk, reach base. Drew Beck, he was also hit by a pitch in the early outing, nearly hit by another one as that one sails high and over, and Sawyer Slade's going to come out from behind his catcher spot at home plate and talk things over with the struggling Bishop. He's yet to deliver a strike. Through two pitches, he hit Webster and sailed that one over Beck. Beck makes strong contact, but fouls it off. So our count 1-1. No outs. Webster on first. First strike delivered. So the 1-2 pitch. Opportunity for the first strikeout for Bishop. And he'll get it. Drew Beck goes down swinging for the second consecutive at-bat. Coach Hermanson and his team just need 2 more outs. And then at least 2 runs to take this one into extra. Another low ball passes. It's the third batter faced for Bishop, and the third consecutive time his first ball has been a ball. The first of those, of course, being the one that dinged Webster. Jordan has struck out in 2 of his 3 plate appearances. The one in between, his second at-bat. Had the walk. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Now 3-0. Off the wide pitch. Jordan awaits it. Lets the first strike pass. Not surprising to see him do so. Bishop looks to fight his way back in the count. Set to deliver. And it's another strike. So full count facing James Jordan. The first time Cooper Bishop has reached full count. As he sets, delivers. He almost swung. But they're going to say he did not. Tigers frustrated. Bountiful fans rejoice. As Jordan gets his second walk of the game. So Kason Averett returns to the batter's box. His first plate appearance brought in 3 of the team's 5 runs they scored in the first inning. In his second at-bat, drove in another one. Off a double for himself. So he's brought in 4 of the team's 7 runs today. Reached base in his previous at-bat with the walk, but decides to let strike 1 pass. Averett awaits it. Sends it. And it's going to drop into shallow right field. Going home, it's going to be a foot race. But the ball was sailed high. Bountiful scores a much-needed run to increase their lead. How about the day for Kaysen Averett? Another base hit. Comes up time and time again. He's now driven in 5 runs. What a performance. So Averett to second, Jordan over to third, and that was Carson Webster who came home off the dive. TJ Dalkey now due up. First strike is delivered. Still just 1 out in the inning. Sawyer Slade traps the pitch, making sure it can't squeeze by and give Jordan any chance to cross home. Dalkey ready for it. Bishop delivers. That one was low again, but Dalkey bit on it. So 2-1 our count. Could this be the first strikeout for Bishop? Or we actually had the strikeout on Drew Beck just a few pitches ago. So 2-2 the count. Beck. Gets another down. Dalkey is retired with the Drew Bowles now due up. A reminder at what's at stake as we sit for what could be the last the Redhawks at least hope is the last opportunity they need to add to their runs total. The winner of this game will go on to face 2-seed Lehigh in the winner's bracket tomorrow at 7. The loser will go on to face Maple Mountain in the 1:30 game tomorrow. 1-0 the count. Facing Drew Bowles. Bowles attempting to at least load the bases or drive in more runs with 2 outs off Bishop. This one sent high into right field. Giving chase is Takashi, and he makes the catch. The center fielder gets his team out of the inning, but the extra run added insurance, driven in by Kaysen Averett, increases the lead 8-5. We'll see if the Tigers can close the 3-run gap when we come back to UCCU Field. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind.
Ouch, gonna need some pills for that one.
Hey! Prescription pain pills can be dangerous!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy there. You're her parent, not a drill sergeant. More love, then they'll listen.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about prescriptions the right way.
Tigers down to their last 3 lives at UCCU Field in Utah Valley. Tavis Danner still on the mound, came in relief of Truman Derrier. Derrier now in right field. Or Derrier will actually take center field as Drew Bowles shifts to right field. So the last hope for the Tigers in this contest, if they hope to avoid the loser's bracket, will be Alex Hansen, Gray Sundberg, and Easton Davies. Tigers need at least 3 runs to send this one into extra innings. Pitch is delivered to the outside. Hansen fouls it back, falling in the count 1-2. Danner gets the strikeout. 1 down, 2 to go for the Bountiful Redhawks. Now due up will be Gray Sundberg. Sundberg flew out into right field in his first at-bat. Went down swinging in his second, but was able to walk his most previous one. Danner got his first strikeout of the afternoon on Hansen. He'll try to build off the momentum, but it won't come off the high pitch. Sundberg set for it. Moves out of the way to avoid it. Coach Stringfellow and his team closing in on the upset victory. That'll be the first strike after it's fouled off. Our third game of the day, Jordan versus Wasatch. Just a little over an hour away with first pitch scheduled for 4:30. 2-1 the count. Groans from the Bountiful faithful as they disagree with the call. Sundberg grounds it directly to Jordan, who plays it and gets it over. 1 out to go for Bountiful. You can feel the energy. So Easton Davies now due up. Davies reached base back in the second inning, but that was the lone time on the day, and it was via the walk. Since then, 2 strikeouts as Danner delivers it high. The 8-5 lead will need to be erased by the Tigers with no outs remaining. They're hoping to capture it. Davies. That's the first strike of the at-bat pass. Danner look to even the count with this pitch. And do just that. 1 strike away from getting Bountiful the upset. Davies resets. Awaits the delivery. Danner. The low pitch brings us to full count with 2 outs. Davies trying to keep it alive. Danner trying to end it. This one's sent in the left foul territory. So we'll reset and do the full count pitch once again. Danner, he did it. Davies goes down looking. Danner came in, walked and hit the first 2 batters he faced with a pitch, but then stabilized it and closed the game with 2 strikeouts. The third one added by James Jordan, who fielded it well. What started out as a really strong performance by Truman Derrier was finished out by Tavis Danner. Orem mounted the late comeback, but just couldn't close it out as they fall. So a reminder, That means that Orem will play tomorrow versus Maple Mountain. That game scheduled for 1:30. Feature the 23-seeded Golden Eagles versus the 9th-seeded Tigers. And our winner's bracket game, the Lehigh Pioneers, will take on the Bountiful Redhawks, who capture the upset. They close out the big victory. The Tigers mounted the comeback, but it would not be enough. So your final from UCCU Ballpark: the Bountiful Redhawks 8, the Orem Tigers 5. We thank you for watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind.